help me calm my farm. Lord, I love you, Lord, but because of this virus, I'm so bored. Hey kids, I'm Sal. I am the new families pastor at OneHope, and I'm at the Barrable campus, and I'm super excited to be with you for my first OneHope Kids Online. It's great to be with you. We've got a great morning planned, so I hope that you are ready. I've got my first task for you this morning. The first task is, I want you to get a pencil and a piece of paper, and I want you to score your week out of 10. 1 if it was really, really bad and you were like, I do not like homeschooling. 10 if it was really, really awesome and you're like, woohoo, I don't have to go to school. So I want you to go get a piece of paper, pencil, and score your week out of 10, and I want you to tell the person next to you, whether it's your brother or your sister or your mum or your dad, I want you to tell them why you gave it that score. So pause this video now, go get those supplies and do that little challenge for me. How'd you go? Good. Awesome. So kids, Georgia and I have come up with a theme for our term, and for our term 2, we are going to be looking at heaps of different characters in the Bible that were in isolation, just like us. We're going to look at these different characters and see what they did in their time of isolation and see what we can learn from them so that we can feel better equipped to be able to deal with this time as well. So today our person is David. Now David became one of the great kings of Israel, but you know, before he was a king, there was a time when the previous king wanted to kill him. So Saul was the king at the time, and Saul was a good man at the start, but as his life went on, he started to make some really bad choices. He started to entertain some really ungodly thoughts. And one of those ungodly thoughts is that he became really jealous of David. And David ended up having to go into hiding, to hide from Saul and his army so that they wouldn't kill him. So, hiding. David was in hiding. So, our first game for you this morning is to play hide and seek. So I want you to get your family together, your brothers and sisters, or if it's just you and your mum, that's fine. And I want you to play hide and seek. And I want you to make sure that everyone gets a chance to count and everyone gets a chance to hide. So I want you to pause this video now and I want you to play hide and seek. And when you finish playing that, come back and press play on the video and we'll talk again. Awesome. So you hopefully have played hide and seek. You know, while David was in hiding, he wrote Psalms. You've probably heard of Psalms before. Psalms were songs or like poems or prayers that he wrote to God. And I'm going to read one for you right now. So let me read one of these Psalms for you. Says, God is my shepherd and I am his little lamb. He feeds me, he guides me, he looks after me. I have everything I need. Inside, my heart is very quiet as lying still in soft green grass in a meadow by a little stream. Even though I walk through the dark, scary, lonely places, I won't be afraid because my shepherd knows where I am. He is here with me. He keeps me safe. He rescues me. He makes me strong and brave. He is getting wonderful things ready for me, especially for me, everything I've ever dreamed of. He fills my heart so full of happiness, I can't hold it all inside. Wherever I go, I know God's never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever. Love will go too. So that's one of the Psalms that David wrote while he was in isolation, while he was in hiding. And he wrote lots of these Psalms, lots of these songs. Some of them were about how he was feeling sad and really down. Some of them were about how much he loved God and how he was praising God and so thankful for everything God had done for him. And some of the Psalms were about him saying sorry to God for the things that he'd done wrong. So we have two activities for you today. One is we want you to make a musical instrument. David was a musician. He played the lyre, which was kind of like a harp. Today we play guitar a lot, so today we're going to make a guitar. Now the supplies that you're going to need are, you're going to need a box. It can really be any kind of box. I've been using a cereal box, or you could make with a smaller box. So you need a box like this. You also need either some toilet rolls or a big roll from like some wrapping paper. You also need some rubber bands or some string. I've been using this. You also need something sharp that you can poke holes in the box with. I use this wooden skewer, but you can use anything that's sharp. Little kids, I think you should get your parents to help you with this activity. You're also going to need some scissors, some kind of tape, masking tape or some other kind of tape. These are the supplies that you're going to need. You are going to cut a hole in this box like it's a guitar, and you are going to put a handle on it, and you are also going to put some strings on it, either using rubber bands or string. You can get as creative as you want with this. You can paint the box, you can do anything that you like. If you can't even find a box, you can think about what other kind of musical instrument you could make from stuff that you can find at home. So the sky's the limit. I want to show you a couple that I have prepared earlier. This was my little, what we were calling a ukulele. There you go. And this was my other big one. Not quite, yeah, look, it's not quite as successful as the rubber bands, but it looks good, right? So that's one of your activities today, is to make a musical instrument. The other activity for this week is to write a psalm, or write a song, or a prayer, or a poem. And like I said, some of the Psalms were about how David was feeling, and he was really honest in a lot of those about how he was feeling down and flat. The others were about how he was praising God and thanking him, or some of them were about how he was sorry and he was expressing he was repenting to God and he was expressing his heart in that. So you could write a psalm or a poem about one of those three things, or you could write one that includes all three. Some of the Psalms cover all those topics, all those things and more. So the sky's the limit for that as well. With the psalm or the song or the poem, I want you to make a recording of yourself saying that or singing it for us or reading it out and posting that onto our Facebook page a little bit later in the week. And we'd also love to see whatever you create as well. So that is your activities for this week. Kids, it's been so good talking to you today. I really hope that you have been enjoying it. You know, we looked at the life of David today and we looked at the Psalms because we can learn that in this time of isolation for us, we can look at these Psalms and the life of David as an example for us, that we can write songs, we can write prayers to God about how we're feeling, and we can use that as a tool to help us in this time, just like David did. So I hope you've enjoyed our very first OneHope Kids Online, and I cannot wait to see you next week.